and welcome to Fashion and Lifestyle. I'm Siobhan Harton and I'm here with Patrick Walsh. And Patrick is an Oscar Wilde fanatic, so it is. Patrick, welcome to Fashion and Lifestyle. How are you doing?
Very much. I'm good, Siobhan. Thanks very much for having us on.
And Oscar Wilde, Patrick, tell us, how did you get into Oscar Wilde?
Yeah,
Even though I can understand he's flamboyant and an amazing person, but tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, he was a real dandy, of course, probably Ireland's first export. I got involved with Oscar Wilde. I'd played Jack in The Importance of Being Earnest many years ago, and then Pamela Scully from the Abbey suggested that I read up more about him, which I did, and then found the whole story quite tragic, what actually happened to him from a man on his throne to going into the gutter and dying nearly in poverty in Paris then. And so I produced a book. He died in November 1900, which he would have been dead 100 years. So I brought out a book, The World's Favourite 100 Quotes.
Yeah, you have the book here, actually.
Yeah, that's
we're
right.
going to be doing a competition later on. So
Great.
people, if you want, it's 100 quotes. It's the world's
Favourite
100 quotes of
Yeah.
Oscar Wilde. And we'll be running the competition during the show, actually. And it's Patrick's book.
Yeah, so people better observe if they want to win the book.
Yeah, because Patrick's going to be telling the answer within
there'll be a couple of questions.
The show.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And so what happened then was I brought out the book based on from approximately 1,000 quotes from the picture Dorian Gray to The Importance of Being Earnest to all his famous works, and then put in some photographs and landmarks based on his life through to his grave, which is in Paris in a place called Père Lachaise.
Because he died in Paris.
He did, yeah. He died in a hotel it's now called El Hotel. It's a 5-star hotel in Saint-Germain in Paris. And I've been in the room where he died. And there's there's a shrine to him.
Really, in the room?
His original bill, and I lay in the bed, and there's a painting in there. It's hanging right on the wall as you go in.
That must be actually a very special moment for someone who
has
nearly devoted your life towards Oscar now.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, of course, went out to his grave, and Jim Morrison is buried there as well.
In the same grave?
Well, in the same place, yeah. In the same place.
in the same graveyard.
Yeah, it's huge. Wow. It's a tourist attraction. Chopin is there, Victor Hugo, Les Mis, of course. Wow. Sarah Bernhardt, who was a famous actress of her day, who Oscar wrote parts for. Women actresses, of course, loved Oscar Wilde because he wrote great parts for women, and they wouldn't get as many great parts as they did then. And
he was also very dashing.
Oh yeah, really dandy, typical this is how he would dress.
Yeah, because I love the dress as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well,
actually,
this is a jacket. Believe it or not, I got it in Bangkok. I got it made, and I remember I used to go to Galway races with a straw hat. Women always slagged me with my jacket.
Slagged it? I said they loved it.
No, well, they were always taking a mickey out of me anyway. But so I've always had it in the wardrobe.
And a cravat, I love a cravat.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And so I kind of dress when I'm doing a show on him. I dress similar to this, maybe a cane.
So this isn't your everyday
This would
dress.
not be my everyday. No, but I do like good clothes, as most people do, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be into conservative clothes, really.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been doing some shows on him. I did some TV shows. Did, of course, To Come Down With Me that a lot of people in Cavan would have seen.
Right, and we actually had Colette on the show here.
Colette was on.
Colette was on the show here. She was here on St. Patrick's for the St. Patrick's Day special. So she was.
Wild woman.
She's a great woman. Character. She kept us in chat, and we brought her on the show for her famous green dress. So
of course.
For St. Patrick's Day. For St. Patrick's Day, it was quite famous around the area. But we have actually some pictures of Oscar Wilde and the way he dressed. So we're going to kind of just go through that, because you were talking about the cane as well, and the way so we'll just put the first picture up there, and this is one that it's very dashing. It's like
very dapper,
and
very flamboyant for his day, for the day, of course. In 1882, when he arrived for a lecture tour in America, which really was the making of him. I see him there, the cloak, the hat, everything, and he was asked had he anything to declare, and he replied, of course, in true Wilde fashion, I have nothing to declare except my genius. And then he went off on his tour, and then when he came back to London, of course, he was in demand to go to all the best parties of the time, and Then he started.
He was a real party person. Well, he was a real socialite, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Ireland's first export, really. Probably the Elvis Presley of literature.
Really?
But very kind as well. When he came out of prison now, he had the laws change where children couldn't go to prison anymore.
So that's right, because he begged for the kids that were in prison, wasn't it, to come out of prison?
Yeah,
he'd pay for them.
He paid a fine, that's right, Siobhan. He set up a campaign and he wrote 2 very long letters to the Daily Chronicle at the time. And this when he was persona non grata, and he had to get straight out of London and go to Paris. But he did, and the laws were changed because of Oscar Wilde. Like, he was an extremely kind man that a lot of people don't know about. You know. Misunderstood genius.
Yeah, misunderstood genius. I like that, because the reason why he did go to prison was...
Because he had a homosexual affair. He fell in love with a guy called Bosie, Lord Alfred Douglas.
Which is really unusual for the time as well, like to come out with it.
Yeah, maybe not. Like the flare that I have here, they all wore these green carnations in the theatre, a lot of the gay people at the time, and also the ring, the
pinky
finger.
ring.
Yeah, and he has that on the statue. The sculptor did a fantastic job and had the ring as well. But yeah, he was married to a beautiful lady called Constance Lloyd, and she was extremely loyal to him. And he had 2 sons, Cyril and Vivian. And then, of course, Lord Alfred Douglas hated his father, and then he had put on a calling card about Oscar Wilde when The Importance of Being Earnest was opened. He had a bouquet of vegetables, and of course Wilde got wind that he was going to disrupt the performance.
Right.
So he had police on each door not to let him in. But he ended up suing him, which was a big mistake. Wilde took him on because his son had such hatred for his father. And of course, the trial collapsed. Then there was a retrial. Then he was charged with homosexual activities, and they couldn't find him guilty. And then the second one they did. So it was a tragedy in 3 acts, really. And then, of course, he went to jail for 2 years, which was the severest sentence at the time. The judge, a guy called Justice Wilde, said it was the worst trial he'd ever tried. But in fact, he was homosexual himself.
Okay.
And an Irishman in an English court, it's difficult to get justice, as history has proved to us.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow, so it is very, very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an interesting story, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like, he's got loads. And here's another picture that we're just going to come up with. And this is one, it's like a smoking jacket that he's wearing in this.
On the statue in Merrion Square, that's the smoking jacket, the sculptor, Danny Osborne, caught, and he's the knee breeches. And he had said to George Bernard Shaw and William Butler Yeats, when you go into an English household, you make an entrance, and the way an Irishman makes an entrance is with their clothes. Right. So, of course, Oscar in his knee breeches, William Butler Yeats with the little monocule, and, of course, George Bernard Shaw with the +4s that some of the golfers still wear today. So they certainly made it anyway. Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to have went out with these guys and partied with them? Wouldn't you? They're great characters, really flamboyant characters.
And great storytellers as well, you know.
You would have had a great time with them. Yeah. Colette would have had a wild time
wouldn't
with
she?
them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Colette being a wild woman.
She would definitely had a great time
Shaw
with
said that all his work was due to the influence of Oscar Wilde. And I'm doing a thing on Tuesday in Limerick for Piada. It's Tony, my fellow contestant from Come
Dine With Me.
Yeah, a fabulous guy, a lovely family comes from, and you know, a very ambitious, driven guy, and he's arranged this for me, and it's down the University of Limerick.
So what exactly is it, Patrick?
It's an evening with Oscar Wilde, and it's going to be on this Tuesday in the University of Limerick at 7:30, and all the proceeds go to Piata. It's suicide awareness, and Tony has strong feelings about that, so he's arranged all of this.
Okay, we actually have the poster off that one that we put up, so the details are on the poster.
Great,
and that's at 7:30 this Tuesday.
Tuesday coming 2nd of April.
And all the proceeds are going to?
Piata, it's for suicide awareness, and that's in the University of Limerick in Castle Troy.
And it's a great noble cause. So many people are, like, we have SOSAT here in Cavan, so many people are either they say for every suicide, there's, I think it's 22 people are affected by it, awful, or more, 25 people are affected by it. So it's great. The amount of support, you know, that people can get at that time would be great, and that's great.
Well, Tony does great work there, so I take my hat off.
And how long does the
it'll probably go on for about an hour. There'll be the lecture, the story I'll tell will be about 45 minutes. I've cut it down, and then I'm relaunching the book, an updated version. There's a new DVD that came out that was filmed by Bygone Memories. Noel Kearns did that, and that's over 2 hours long. As I mentioned in the green room, we interviewed Rosanna Davis and Miss World, so Oscar would love that. Being a guy who loved beauty, I wasn't complaining myself either, mind you. And then that was at the statue in September. And of course,
and the statue is in
Merrion Square.
Oh, that's right, beside the house, the Oscar Wilde house that's there.
That's right. Yeah. It's now the American College, and I was guest speaker for Culture Night there on the 21st of September.
And you do Culture Night every year?
Yeah, in his home. They open it for one day. To
and
the
it's
public.
Normally around the 21st of
around
September,
that.
Isn't it? Yeah, around that.
And that's in his family home. His mother was Lady Jane Francesca, but she was known as Speranza, and it was a name she picked. It's an Italian name. It means hope, and hope was for the Irish nation at the time. And then his dad was knighted. He was Queen Victoria's surgeon, and he was knighted then by Queen Victoria, Sir William Wilde, and he founded the Eye and Ear Hospital for the poor people of Dublin. So they're very kind people. Yeah, I think that's where Oscar got his kindness.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of, it goes back to when he got the children out of prison.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Even my little daughter were in Madame Tussauds. She's 6. Oh, Daddy, look, Oscar Wilde.
Are they into Oscar Wilde?
Well, my little daughter is, because I have one daughter. I'm separated, but and her mum is French, so she's already learning French as well.
Fantastic.
And then
and have you got her reciting the poetry as well?
Not yet, but she does and she likes Van Gogh, and she's seen his paintings as well. And then I found love through Oscar Wilde. I met my girlfriend through Oscar Wilde.
Really? How was that?
The grave, his birthday is the 16th of October, and that's when I met her. It was the first time I met her, was the 16th of October. And she'd been at the grave in Paris. I've been there a couple of times. And she had called me up and said, was there anything happening for Oscar Wilde? And to be honest, I'd forgotten it was his birthday.
Right. And you were at the grave?
Really? No, it wasn't at the grave. She'd been at the grave, and this is how it led into the conversation. Yeah. And she sent me a photograph. She emailed it over to me of her at the grave.